That breaking news, brand new video shows Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups leaving federal court. He appeared before a judge on charges of money laundering and wire fraud conspiracy. The FBI says he's involved in a massive illegal gambling scheme. The case involves millions of dollars, the mafia, and dozens of alleged co-conspirators, including other big names in the NBA. The indictment against Billups was filed in the Eastern District of New York. Billups is set to appear in federal court in Brooklyn tomorrow. Thanks for joining us for KT News at 4. I'm Ray Gazaway.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. At this hour, Billups is on leave and the Blazers have named an interim head coach. So here's what you need to know right now. There are two operations under investigation. One about rigged poker games in which federal prosecutors say Billups participated in high-stakes games that allowed the mafia to steal millions of dollars from unsuspecting people. The other is about illegal betting on NBA games. They say bettors got non-public information which helped them win big. A guard for the Miami Heat, Terry Rozier, was arrested in that case, and the Trailblazers are named as one of the teams bet upon. Billups is not named specifically in that case. However, the description of co-conspirator number 8 does reference a player and eventual coach that matches Billups' description. You just saw Billups leave the courthouse.
That's right, Deb. So Chauncey Billups just walked out of the courthouse. I asked him point blank whether he defrauded victims out of millions of dollars. He said nothing at all. He kept his composure. A few hours ago, a judge authorized his release on certain conditions, including what they're saying is a substantial bond, and by they, I mean the prosecution, and a prohibition on gambling. Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups indicted for allegedly taking part in a scheme that defrauded victims out of at least $7 million. That's according to United States Department of Justice. Billups, alongside over 24 people, allegedly put together rigged poker games in which they trick people out of their money. In a press conference held Thursday, the assistant director for the FBI New York field office explained.
Victims were attracted to play alongside well-known professional athletes and coaches like Chauncey Billups, only to be unknowingly deceived through rigged shuffling machines, fixing the odds in their favor, as alleged.
When it comes to technology, that's not all. The DOJ alleges the defendants had card analyzers that utilized technology loaded onto decoy cell telephones that could surreptitiously detect which cards were on the table and playing cards that had markers visible only to individuals wearing specifically, or rather specially designed contact lenses or sunglasses. And coming up at 5 p.m., we break down allegations of the mafia's involvement. Reporting live in downtown, Tanvi Verma, K2 News.
They say co-conspirator 8 lived in Oregon, was an NBA player from about 1997 to 2014, was an NBA coach since at least 2021. The Blazers named Chauncey head coach in June of 21. And according to court documents, around March 24th of 23, co-conspirator 8 told the defendant that the Blazers were going to be tanking for draft position. Co-conspirator 8 also allegedly gave inside information that several of the Blazers' best players wouldn't be playing in that game. Reports from that day show that several star players sat out and that the Blazers lost. A U.S. attorney discussed the case this morning.
This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams.
Oh, man. All right. So this is a sad situation. Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier are arrested for gambling. So the crazy thing about this is they are arrested by the federal government, and the federal government has like a 90%, almost a 90% conviction rate, or where they win almost 90% of their cases that they bring to court. So I don't want to overreact. Right now they're arrested, so we're just going to let this thing play out. But if this is true, why? The first thing I would say is why? Chauncey Billups was an NBA champion with the Detroit Pistons, NBA head coach, made millions of dollars as a player, making millions of dollars as a head coach. Terry Rozier making $26 million as a NBA player this year for the Miami Heat. So the question is like, why would you put yourself in that situation? I've heard other players, former players, say it could be an addiction. It's really no excuse, man. If this is true, it just doesn't make sense. First of all, for Chauncey Billups, he's made millions of dollars as a player, probably over hundreds of millions of dollars as a player. And I don't understand, if it's true, why would you put yourself in that situation? Why would you put your family in that situation? I mean, you're a coach now. You went from being a player to a coach, which is one of the hardest things to do, because being an NBA coach is not an easy job to get. So just for him to put himself in that situation, I feel like if he's not vindicated, if he doesn't win this case, I don't ever see him coaching again. It's a stain on your name. It's a stain on your legacy. How can you overcome this? Why would you put yourself in this situation? If he's found guilty of doing this. So I just don't understand why, man. When you have everything that's given to you as far as a materialistic gain, as far as money, you have all the money that one individual can have in this life, and just throw it all away, allegedly, through gambling. So, if this is true, man, it's a terrible way to fall. To be an NBA player, makes millions of dollars, and then to become a coach, and just to throw it all away just for illegal gambling, to lose, and the money he probably made through gambling probably was chump change compared to what the money he's making as a coach. I just don't get it. Terry Rozier, if it's true that he played a role in helping people make money, it doesn't make sense, because you're making $26 million. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you put yourself in that situation? You're in the NBA. You've been in the league for almost 10 years. You made money you made millions of dollars with Boston, and now you from Charlotte, and now you with the Heat. It just doesn't make sense to me why you would put yourself in that situation, because you don't need to. It's just sad. So the only thing we could do now is just wait and see what happens, if these guys will get convicted or if they'll beat these charges. But again, the government almost have a 90% conviction rate. I mean, they don't lose these cases. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how this turns out. Like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next one. Yay.